Welcome once again. This is Thursday. This is the weekend eve. We back again. This is the dinner table with Q and She.
Hey.
Hello everybody. Happy evening. I guess I would say. I don't know.
It is evening.
So, hope y'all had a wonderful week. We coming to the end of the week. First off, let me talk about something real quick. The NBA Finals. Now, it's a lot of people that had Milwaukee down or losing when it was 2-0. You seen Chris Paul walking with his swag and everything, and this, that, and the other. They was talking about Chris Paul about to get his first ring and all this type of stuff. The Freak the Greek was hurt. But let me tell you something, man. And I made a bet, and they were down 2-0, and I made a $50 bet. I wish I would have made more, but I was scared. I ain't gonna lie to you.
So you won?
I won, but I was scared. I was shaky on that. Like, I don't know about this 50, but, you know, they came back, man. And Greek, the Freak,
right,
had, man, let me tell you something. That dude, and the thing about it is, Chris Paul been in the league for years, and this is his first time getting to the finals. Freak the Greek, how many years he been in the league? 4?
8.
8?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, he been in the league since he was 18.
Okay, yep. So he got his first ring, but well deserved because the coach job was on the line. They was playing for the coach because he was about to get fired if they didn't get to the finals this year. He was getting fired. So salute to Milwaukee Bucks, the whole staff and everything for winning the NBA title. They the best in the world.
They won.
Yeah. So
I mean, people thought I was crazy because I said they was gonna beat Brooklyn.
You were for Milwaukee.
Well, I picked them in the East to go to the
East.
finals.
Okay.
After the Suns beat the Lakers, I picked the Suns to go to the finals. People thought I was crazy because they thought the Clippers was gonna go, and I was like, nah, the Clippers overrated, and they barely got past Dallas.
Well, you
I mean,
but my man was hurt. You can't.
It don't matter. The Clippers squad is better than Phoenix squad. If you look at their squad from top to bottom, even without Kawhi, they better than the Suns.
No, you need Kawhi, man. You need Kawhi. You would not win the finals without Kawhi.
I didn't say they was gonna win the finals. I said they could beat Phoenix
or beat Phoenix.
No, they could have.
Man,
they crumbled.
You missed those free throws
in the big moments, just like you just said. Chris Paul, you know what I'm saying, ain't come up big at the end of Game 6 with Milwaukee. This is the same thing Paul George did. You scored over 40 points in games 4 and 5. I mean, 5 and 6. And then you come in Game 7 against Phoenix in a game that y'all should have won.
True.
And you laid an egg.
True.
I'm talking about he got outscored by Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson was the leading scorer for the Clippers in Game 7.
And I hate to say this, but Reggie Jackson is
the Clippers
is probably the most. And this is he won't be a model on my team. Like, he won't be modeling for me. He just won't do that. You know what I'm saying? He a little challenged on that part, that attractive part. But I mean,
he was balling though.
But you know what he did for Pistons?
He saved the Clippers season, bro. Because had he not balled out like he did, they wouldn't even got past Dallas. And that was with Kawhi.
He had spurts on the Pistons, but it wasn't enough. But
he didn't stay healthy.
Coming off the bench, I think he played a good role for Clippers. Was it Clippers? Yeah. He played a good role.
They actually should have started them sooner, but you know what I'm saying. I think they was that continuity they already had, and you know with what's his name playing a certain role as a defensive point guard. That's why they stayed with him. But they saw early in the playoffs he started getting abused, and it was like, okay, we got to make a change, and so.
Well, I tell you what, shout out to my guy. I'm not gonna say a name, but shout out to my guy at work who actually bet me the $50. That's my gas money. You know what I'm saying? So I'll take it. You know, so
they ain't gonna take that gas money for that truck.
I wasn't here last week. We wasn't here last week.
We was not here last week.
Yeah, we had to cancel the show. So then the week before that, was I here?
No, you were not.
Here, so
You've
it's
been
2
gone
weeks.
for 2 weeks.
It's been 2 weeks, man.
I miss y'all, man. I miss the crew, man.
I miss you too.
She, what's going on? Would you talk to me?
Nothing much. Working as usual. Enjoying what I do. And I'm just.
What do you do?
What don't I do? Wardrobe styling. Shout out to my client. Something big is coming next month. I'm so excited. So I'm happy about that. I'll be traveling with one of my clients, one of my wonderful clients, and then my flower beds, doing my gardening, landscaping. You know, I love that.
Right.
my clients that I got one in progress right now as we speak. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. And then my flower pots, my Diva flower planters. So thank you all for the love and support. You guys rock. Thank you. People put it out there and they shared. Q shared it, and I got I think 3 clients just from Q sharing what I do. So thank you. I appreciate it.
And also, I got a couple calls from you sharing my floor business.
Yay!
Surface and hardwood floors. I got a couple calls and everything. It's been on fire, man. I'm booked
Your
up.
floors
I'm
are
booked up. I'm
immaculate.
booked
Look,
up.
y'all, I'm telling y'all, and that's why I put it on there, because Q does an immaculate job with the hardwood floors. He's done them for 2 homes that I reside in.
Yeah.
And he's great at what he does. And you know what? I love that about us. We support and put out each other's business. What we have going on, entrepreneurs. So that's what it's all about, supporting each other, putting it out there. You never know who may need the services. So shouts out to you.
I want to say, take a turn and say rest in heaven to my partner, my business partner, my friend, Officer Daryl Cross. Cross and I, we had our signature events called Heels, Hats, and Bow Ties. You know, he had a heart attack a couple weeks ago.
Wow.
Young guy, I think he was 48, maybe. Definitely wasn't 50. And I had just talked to him that Tuesday prior to, because we were talking about doing an event together. We hadn't done an event in a while. But Heels, Hats, and Bow Ties was our signature event. We did it for about 4 or 5 years down at Club 211. So to the family, friends, to the DPD department, you know what I'm saying? You lost a friend, a brother, co-worker, and, you know, he was a good guy. So I just want to take the time out to say rest in heaven. Yesterday was his birthday, so happy birthday. And rest in heaven. I got
a homegirl that she know him too.
Yeah. So we're actually talking about. I'm sorry. We're actually talking about V and I, which V worked out at 211 with us, and she's a part of the Heels, Hats, and Bow Tie team. We're talking about in the near future, maybe a couple of weeks, we're doing Heels, Hats, and Bow Ties in his honor. He has a mentoring program, so we're going to donate the proceeds to the mentoring program.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Oh yeah, that's what's up.
That's nice.
Yeah. So rest in heaven, Daryl Cross, my guy, man, my guy.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people that's on my friends list that know him.
Yeah.
That's how people post
Yeah,
pictures.
sound like he was
so I
very
like,
well loved.
I didn't know that's who you was talking about or
Yeah.
whatever. But nah, that you said his name.
Yeah, good guy, man. So, but today we have a very, very serious topic. It's happening every day, and sometimes we are so caught up in what we do on a daily basis that we don't really take the time out to think about this unless it happens to someone that we know. But we got to have the same concerns because it's happening every day. You know what I mean? So we're here to bring awareness. We're here to bring some attention because this goes overlooked. And I happen to had the pleasure of meeting this young lady, Stacy J, of Stacy J Productions, and she actually brought awareness to myself, you know, and some of the information that, you know, we did a PSA, and some of the information that she was talking, I'm like, wow, I didn't even really understand. And I did some research, some research on it, man, and it's huge. It's huge.
Is.
So I want to introduce very creative, man. I mean, she had this commercial that we shot. I mean, it was her vision, everything, and we went in there and we knocked it out, and I can't wait to see it. And I was so blessed that she invited me on the set and to be a part of this. So without further ado, I want to introduce Stacy J of Stacy J Productions.
Right.
Yay.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Q. Thank you so much,
Sheila.
Sheila and Elwood. Elwood.
Yeah, how you
Okay,
doing?
thank you all so much
Thank you
for
for
inviting
joining
me
us
out.
this evening.
Appreciate you. Yes.
Now, we're talking sex trafficking, right? This is huge.
Yeah.
This is huge. It's big business. It's I don't know if it's what I say in the underground world, because it's I mean, with the more awareness, it's taken away from being underground, because underground means, like, you know, it's happening, it's not that much attention to it, and it's circulating in business. But the more we get aware of this, the more we can bring this to light.
Correct.
So one of my first questions to you is, what is human trafficking, and what's the purpose?
Wow. The purpose of human trafficking is to make money, commercialize sex, which means make money off of sex. And if you go over, if I had a textbook
Yeah.
definition, pretty much it would be anybody that's bought into or made through force, fraud, or coercion. Those are the three common denominators: force, fraud, or coercion.
Okay.
If they are subjected to sex for commercial, for profit, that makes you traffic. Now, the dictionary definition, or on the old, I believe, federal website would be under the age of 18, but you can be, I've heard, as old as 80 or 85 and be
Yeah.
trafficked. You can be 40. You can meet someone, and through fraud, you think that they're you're in a relationship, and then things can go sour, and you find out that that person wants to use you and make money off of you and profit off of you. And so people are trafficked through their jobs.
Yeah. Yeah.
People are trafficked through relationships.
Yeah.
People are trafficked through all the different types of avenues. There's so much I have to say, and I'm just trying to get my thoughts together. But I wrote a play a few years ago called A Dream Deferred, and it was about a young lady who was lured into human trafficking. So she was lured in through fraud, and she applied for a job at a music studio. She had a dream of being a singer and did not know that the person that ran a music studio was a trafficker, and so that's how she had gotten lured in. But the way we took that character, I spent 7 months doing research for that, and she wasn't a fast girl. She came from a very good home. And so that's how a lot of young people, and it's not anyone's story, it's not a nonfiction type story, but that's how a lot of young people are bought into the world of human trafficking. They're lured, they're innocent. And then a lot of times people don't do their research when they're modeling to be for lashes or hair or maybe music or model $25 an hour. We see those posters all the time. I'm not saying that those people are traffickers, but these are many, many ways
That avenues.
that people become involved in human trafficking. Also, I wanted to say, too, there are two different types of trafficking. There's human trafficking and labor trafficking. So labor trafficking is more of people maybe working as in maintenance or maid service or orchards. Maybe they pick fruit. Maybe they're in construction sites. Maybe in our nail salons, maybe in our hair braiders and things like that. But when I speak to kids in school and community groups and churches, I tell people definitely not everybody who's doing our nails and braiding our hair are being trafficked, but it does happen. If you ever, when you go to New York, there's a lot of signs, especially posted in restaurants, fast food, public places, on the subway, that if you're a victim or whatever, there's some numbers to call because it's more prevalent there, because that's where people come in from other countries. And a lot of times people are promised a wonderful life in America. People may bring them over, and they may spend up their life savings in a third world country, and they come over and they think that they're going to come over to America and have a wonderful life, and they say, well, you know what, you owe me. I had to get your teeth fixed, or I had to pay for this surgery or that, or I had to help your mom or your brother get out of jail. And sometimes people never do get out of that type of slavery. So
Wow. So I did a research, of course, and here in Michigan, sex trafficking is very huge. In Macomb County, that's their biggest crime, is sex trafficking.
Yes.
And I talked to a deputy in Macomb County, a friend of mine, and he was saying that it's money. It's $1 billion industry, and these guys lure in women, young, old, even men.
yes.
Even men are used for traffic or for sex trafficking, and also what you said about the labor, that as well. So I want to bring it to words because a lot of people don't know. You see all the time children coming up missing, teenagers, and I was telling them before we started the show, I've had Indian men, Asian men try to talk, and they have an agenda. And if you're not smart enough, if you're not quick on, they're not trying to date you. They are trying to lure you in for sex trafficking. That's how I believe, because I'm like, where's this coming from? And it's been going on for the last year and a half or so, very heavy with different races talking to black women because it is a lucrative, big business.
You brought up some wonderful points. Michigan, we vary between, I would say, between 2 and 7. Some would say 10. Some would say we're number 12, but we're up there.
We're up there, yeah.
And one of the reasons why, we border in Canada, and we have water, so that's easy to transport humans in cargo, in the cargo places of boats and things like that. It is, I think I mentioned that, $150 billion industry worldwide. And traffickers are not always men. Women are making up large numbers of traffickers. It's easy to lure people in a woman.
Yep,
and
with a
then
woman.
she can play that trusting, hey, how you doing, and different things like that. Our runaways normally within 24, and that we dealt with the runaway in the PSA. Normally within 24 to 72 hours, most runaways end up being trafficked or involved in child pornography within 24 to 72 hours, because pimps are very, very smart, savvy people. They know where to go hang out. Malls.
Yes.
That's where young people love. They, I have a daughter that's 12 and a half. Girls love to go shop.
Yes.
And they love to tell you what you want to hear. And what makes a good victim is someone that's vulnerable. And a lot of times, if we're doing a great job raising our kids, they don't know about that type
That's
of life.
right.
They're very green. They are vulnerable.
Yeah.
Also, bus stations, train stations, and so they hang around those places. The Wayne County Jail, when people are released, they're normally released at about 7 p.m. I'm retired law enforcement, and I used to work at Division 1, and normally around 7, well, I shouldn't say this, or in the evening time after court hours, people are released from jail and things like that, and so that's the time a lot of times people, if they don't have any place to go or whatever, maybe they were arrested for prostitution. But if it's a child, there's no such thing as a child prostitute. And so they're out there, and so you'd be surprised at where people linger and drive around and come off as, hey, I can help you. And they're not really trying to help somebody, they're trying to hurt somebody. Let me talk about it real quick. You brought this up, the boys, and how our young boys, and we deal with that in a play. They're called Throwaway Boys. Judge Deborah Thomas is a huge human trafficking advocate at the 36th Circuit Court, Frank Murphy. And Throwaway Boys may be boys that might have come out, and maybe they've been put out of their home. It happens a lot where boys come out as being gay and things like that or whatever, and they're put out their homes and they don't have any place to go, and they're picked up. Also, boys in domestic violence situations, because if they try to protect mom against husband or boyfriend, then they're often put out of the home as well. Sometimes people come up here a lot of times, and I remember when I was about 19, 20 years old, and I met some men that were doing door-to-door sales. I'm not everybody doing door-to-door sales, but sometimes people have these where you want to sell magazines and books going door to door. It's usually always out of the state that they live in. And I remember some young men coming up here from the South, like North Carolina, and the quota is normally way too high for them to be able to keep up with it. And a lot of times boys are sold into that. St. Clement's Church in Inkster had to rescue a young man, and John just had compassion on him and was able to free him. And the church had paid for him to go back to California, but that's how he got caught up, selling books or magazines door to door. So,
You know what's you mentioned malls. They say one of the highest sex trafficking areas is Great Lake Crossing and Novi Mall.
Really?
Yes, because that's where, like you say, the young girls, they go, they in groups, they get dropped off, and they go shopping, and you have people that just actually just set out and prey on these young men and girls and boys.
Yes,
You know what
and
I mean?
a nail salon too, because in the mall, I watched and I paid attention. I told the lady that was doing my nails, the young lady was very quiet. She didn't. The man was talking for her. She was younger. He was older. And I watched that whole situation. And I was like, something's not right there. So the lady, I was like, look, something is not right.
Yeah.
And he kept watching. He would not leave her side. And I said, and so she's like, may I help you? He was like, I'm waiting for her. And so I just was like, Lord, I don't know what the situation is, but you can tell it wasn't the right situation. And they linger at the malls. Even I seen on social media a lady, her daughter, they were in the nail salon, and the mom left out. It was an Asian nail salon, and the girl who was doing her nails, the little girl, 14, was recording her so the man could see her.
Wow.
And the girl came out to the car. She said, "Ma, I don't feel comfortable. Something's, the lady is recording me." And the mom called the police. The police came and everything. But this is real and it's serious. Like, this happens day in and day out.
Yeah. Now, I remember a couple of years ago where there was this white van frenzy where everybody thought people were being kidnapped. But the honest truth is that only about 95% are lured in, and about maybe 5% are violently kidnapped. It does happen.
Okay.
But not a lot. Most people are lured in, or their families. And that's what a lot of people, and we bring light to that in the play where a girl is sold. She's about 10 or maybe 11, and she's sold into human trafficking by her uncle. He owes people some money.
Her uncle did?
Her uncle. But we can't write a play, movie, book, or anything, or television series without dealing with that. And that's, I was being politically correct, I'm quite sure, using that 11-year-old girl. But I'm quite sure there's girls younger. And let me tell you why. When I was writing the play back in 2018, the FBI did a sting here in Michigan, and 2 people were captured. A lot of times kids are captured, but this was a sex trafficking sting. The girl was as young as, the aunt sold both of them for $500, 5-year-old and a 6-month-old baby. And we know what a baby does. You know why the baby was sold into sex trafficking, because they suck. And so that is why, and so that's this business, and I'm quite sure maybe mother. I'm quite sure the aunt was on drugs, but that child was sold for $500, both the 6-month-old and the 5-year-old sibling. So that is a serious business. It is. Yeah, we need more abolitionists. We need more awareness.
Awareness, yes. And a lot of these kids, I was oblivious growing up. Like, I wasn't around this type of stuff. And a lot of kids, like you said, they don't know. So when they are faced with it, they don't know what to do or what to expect, because it's not talked about. But it happens day in and day out. Yeah. And I watched a movie. It was Sylvester Stallone, and he was doing, his niece was caught up in sex trafficking, and they just show how they treat them, how they put them out there for sale and for sex, and they're getting money. It's just, it's a big business. And how do you start to crack down on that, or how does that, not only awareness, but what are happening to these people when they do get caught?
Real good, really good. So let me see how we can tackle this answer, your question. How do they crack down? Well, one of the reasons why Michigan is anywhere between 2 and 10 on the list, because we're very proactive with stings and arrests. Okay. So Michigan, they kick behind with that. They really work hard, and our federal and state police and local police, they work very well together with apprehending and with stings and different things like that. And so people I don't know if you got a chance to see any part of the treatment that I wrote, where people, they have like websites where they sell girls on the website.
Yes.
And so on these websites, they're open for anybody, so anyone can see that. So that's another reason, like Backpage, they wanted to shut it down. But then you have to keep it open, because you need to see what people are doing. Wow. Yeah, so those are different things, ways, and they sell girls on multiple websites. And then a lot of times they have people that go in, tricks or Johns that go in and buy a girl, and they find out information. That's how they can find out where the girls are and different things like that. One of the things when we first wrote the play, that was our 3rd production in December, but the auto show, that's a wonderful time to bring up tons of girls, because people are in town and they want action. They don't have their wives and things like that. So auto shows, Super Bowl is another big time.
Events
Super Bowl, and big events that are going on. Those are grand times for pimps to come up and bring their girls, because there are a lot of people that are going to be in town, and they bring them in to sell them. So
now, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay. No, you sure?
Yes, go ahead. I'm going to write it down because I forget.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I want to know the details of it. Like, when they capture these women, is there a fight? With most of them, are they killing them if they go against what they want? how long do they use these girls, or like do you know any of the details of how this business is ran?
I know somebody I'll connect you with.
Okay.
Off air.
Okay.
And we, as a matter of fact, I'll connect you, and you
Okay.
can know when you get off this call. Oh, you will know a lot about human trafficking.
And I want to know,
Yeah.
because that way, you can educate other people
Yes.
and let people know what's going on, how to do, just say sex trafficking. But what is the details of that?
Yeah.
What do they do with these young ladies after a while? And if a young lady resists, what
They're
happens?
beaten. They are beaten.
Are they drugged?
They are drugged, and we deal with that in the PSA as well. They're drugged. They're beaten. They're branded with tattoos. They're beaten to be able to smile through what is going on. They're beaten, and they have to be conditioned for that, drugged and conditioned for that. They're used up to sometimes 20 times a day.
Really?
And what I had to deal with in the play, and this is something that made actors uncomfortable, but, we like to keep it raw when we dealing with affairs and all that other stuff. We like to, simulate all this and keep it raw on the stage. But I had to keep it raw with this as well, because the little girl, 11 years old, 10 or 11 in the play, that was being sold by her uncle, she said it was her time of the month. And the pimp said, I don't care. Because pimps don't care about your cycle. They fix a girl, and a lot of times they use a sponge that you would use for makeup. It's very soft, isn't it? Mm-hmm. That orange.
The little,
orange
the
makeup,
wedge, like kind of sponge.
There's an orange one is really nice. It's really, really soft. And they put that in the girls.
And it's very absorbent, because I know I had to clean it. And when I clean mine, it expands.
That's what they use.
Wow.
And they fix them. They put it up the girls, so the girls never get a day off.
Wow.
And can you imagine being used 20 times a day? And anybody that's perverted can do whatever they want. Beat you, rape you, several men or whatever. So those are the things. That's the kind of things that our girls. And sometimes it might be a girl that might have ran away, and just maybe she couldn't, something minute at home, and they get involved, and then it's the shame, and that's why a lot of girls don't come back home as well real quick. It's the shame.
Man.
And maybe somebody is brainwashing them, telling them nobody cares about
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
The shame and the guilt. Or maybe a boyfriend got his girlfriend involved. True story.
Yes.
Macomb
Yep.
County.
Yep.
And
Yep.
he told the girl, you've been wanting my boy, and this, that, and the other. No, I haven't. Well, you going to do this to him, and they film her or take pictures of her having sex with his boys. And then guess what? Every day after school, this is what you're going to do. So they're not always off in another
Right.
faraway land.
Right.
They're,
Right.
every day after school or whatever. If you don't do this, I'm going to send these put them on the internet. Send them to your mom. Send them to your pastor. You'd be surprised at what they use over people's head. And two, pimps love to have babies by girls. Because
Really?
guess who you going to run? I ain't, some girls, it's hard to run. If he got my baby at home, that's hard to run. And then you talked about what happens. Those cases are very, very hard to prove because of the intimidation. A lot of them have Stockholm syndrome where they're afraid, or maybe that's PTSD. That's a lot that goes on psychologically.
Yes,
Not just
I can imagine. Yes. Oh, yeah.
down there, but psychologically what goes on. And so sometimes if they can get away, they're free, and they just don't want to be bothered or whatever. But if you have a child by somebody, or they psychological have a hold on you, we deal with that in the play as well. So those are the things that are hard for people to convict, and because you have to have a witness a lot of times. You have to have witnesses to be able to convict people. So it can be very difficult. And these, monsters are back out to,
Wow. And that's what I'm like, what's the consequences, or what's the jail time or prison time? But like you said, if a young lady is scared and she's not, being a witness or giving up the information, then they don't have a case against them.
I'll tell you.
Or not a strong one.
Somebody I know, I can't say her, and I won't say her name because her child is involved, but her child was trafficked for 3 days and still will not talk about it and refuses to. And I don't know what they told her. Again, that's that forced fraud and
mental.
coercion.
Yeah.
I don't know what they told her, but she won't say anything.
You have to watch what your kids are doing on this
Internet.
on the internet. I have, and I'll just say allegedly, but I have someone that I work with that it happened in Genesee County, and they were on this site called Kick. Now, I never heard of it, but my daughter's just like, that's for kids mainly.
Yeah.
And that's where
They go?
her person, and like I say, I'm not gonna say his name because it's still going on, but at the same time, they said that they were talking to these girls through the social media, and they had a sting. And what happened was the girl said she was 14, and the guy said, well, when he went to the hotel, they were at a hotel, they said if he didn't knock on the door or anything like that, he never would have been charged with what he's charged. So even though he came to the hotel, if he didn't knock on the door,
Right.
they would have let him go. But he did knock on the door, and what they're saying is that he wanted to find out if she was 14. Like, he didn't believe her. You know what I mean? Like, he was like, he saw her on Kick and everything, or whatever, however they do that, and he didn't believe that she was 14, so he just wanted to see if she was for real. Like, come on, dude. You got to be out your mind. So, like, I don't even know about this Kick thing until I asked my daughter, because that's what they said it was on. So you have to be mindful of what your kids are using with social media, because they're, some are talking to someone who they think maybe their age
and they're
or
an
whatever, and
adult.
it's someone, it's a creep out here.
That's why I don't like these adults being on TikTok, low key.
Man,
Because it
Yeah.
started with the kids was on it first.
yeah.
And that's the easiest way. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Same thing with Snapchat. That's why I ain't never get on there.
Because
Yeah.
the kids had a phone in their hand 24/7.
And
They
you
sleep
don't
with the
know
phone in
what
their
they
hand.
be
I
on.
work with a lot of kids, you know what I'm saying, doing after school programs, and they'd be like, Mr. Boog, can I get your I'm like, nope.
See?
Right.
I was like, well, I'm already on Instagram and Facebook. You can follow me, but your parents they gonna know that you following me.
Absolutely.
I'm
Right.
not following you back.
Right.
Now, my
You know what
daughter,
I'm saying? Like, I just don't.
my daughter's turning 21, right? And we're going to Vegas, okay? You know what I'm saying? She want to do something big, for her 21st birthday. Okay, listen. We're going to Vegas. Myself, her mom, some of her friends, some of my friends, you know what I'm saying? So this is what you want to do? Well, let me show you how to, because I can't stop you. I can tell you what's going on, and when you leave the house to be with your friends, you can drink and do whatever. Let me show you if this is what you're going to partake in because you feel you're grown. Okay, listen. Go to the bar. Look at your drink being made. You understand what I'm saying? Don't have a barmaid come to you and then she has to go all the way over to the bar and get your drink. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't see anything from that point. So I'm like, well, we're going here. We're going to go to Vegas. We'll have a good time. I'm ordering bottles. That way we don't have to go, and the bottles are sealed. So when they get to us, we crack the seal, this, that, and other. I went to Vegas a few years back, right? This guy, I was there with my partners. This Asian guy, his whole crew was there next to me. He's like, what's your name? I'm like, Q. You? He kept saying, you? I'm like, no, Q. He was like, where you from? So I'm like, I'm from Detroit. You know what I'm saying? This, that, and other. He was like, okay, I get you a drink. I'm like, no, I'm good. No. He come back with a tray of drinks. Never asked me what I wanted, anything. I'm with my partners. We got bottles on the table. Because I'm not about to have this barmaid go through all these people
Right.
to get my drink and come back. Somebody can, and I got I got some leather glass covers that I bought from this lady, to put over your glass and let your straw go through. Because people would drop something in there. Like the
instantly.
young lady who happened at my ties. They dropped in her drink and she passed away. You know what I'm saying? Now, going back up to Vegas, this guy was like, no, I get drinks. So he brought the drinks over. So I grabbed the drink and I'm like, I dumped it in and there was some flowers or something that was on there. Like, I dumped it in there. You know what I'm saying? But he had white stuff on the corners of his mouth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He done took a pill, snorted some cocaine or whatever. Vegas is fast.
Yeah.
And they know, like my daughter going out there, she want to go out there on her own with her friends. No, you green as a blade of grass.
Yeah. And that's where a lot of people go, because a lot of people, where people go? Vegas. A lot of young people. Aruba, when that young lady, when these young women are traveling, or spring break, to me, those are the places that they seek out the young people.
Yeah, I hear there's a lot of women that they go to like spring break and go to some of these places and they don't even come back home.
Yeah, right.
They don't even make it back
They sell
home.
these body parts too.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people on there, they sell body parts, man, and that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
It's just it's a like I said, it's a crazy business, and I always wonder what goes on in the mind, but it's the money.
It's a very
It's the
lucrative
money. Yes,
business.
it's very lucrative.
Yeah, and
Very.
slavery has not ended.
It has not.
It's not. It's modern day slavery. And you are spot on about Kick. I put that in my presentation.
See?
Kick is a breeding ground for pimps. But when she
Really?
goes there, I want her to observe the prostitution there. It's legal.
It
And
is.
so when you're in a hotel, you know, women and men can easily,
Yep.
men sell their girls all the time at hotels because they can.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to, but they do it indiscreetly. But prostitution is legal in the state of Nevada. And I want her to observe how easy women, how they will sell girls there. So
Yeah, and we
Yep.
were just there not too long ago. I mean, we stuck together because even though we in our 40s, you
Yeah.
know, they still they talk
Yeah.
to women. They try to get women, like you said,
Well,
up to age 80.
and they have brothels there.
Yeah.
And so the women, they're not being trafficked. So they do have brothels there, but it's still not the best. It's not a good environment for women because they don't make the money that they could make, number one. Number two, they could be subject to disease and they could be subject to beatings, and it's just not good.
Right.
I don't think, but it's legal, and women, I was there with my father years ago, and women were constantly asking my dad,
Really?
men, you know, they would, hey, you want to, you know, they
Yeah.
do it very
yeah.
discreetly. So
I talked to a young lady in Vegas one day. I was at the bar, and she sat next to me, and so we had a conversation, and she was saying, "I come here every weekend, and I leave with 7,000-8,000."
yeah.
A
She's like,
weekend?
a weekend. She was like, don't let it be something a fight or something like that. She was like, I'm leaving out here with 20,000 easy because these people come here and they have money, so they're going to pay. Because they trying to get away from their home, they with their boys, and they drinking,
And they wanna have fun and
getting
a good
high, and they
time.
storing cocaine, and they want to have a good time. They don't $7,000-$10,000 is nothing to them.
Yeah.
You know. Now going back to what I was mentioning about the Kick and everything. Like I say the person I work with, I used to work across from this guy every day. We in the same car, putting the same part on. I'm on the left side, he on the right side. He got girls. He got a 16-year-old. Well, back then, because it was about 4 or 5 years ago we worked together. He had a 16-year-old girl. So you telling me, dude, you doing this and you got it's already crazy if you be doing this, but you got girls, man.
Well,
You know what I mean? It's
you
crazy.
know, the producer that cast you into the PSA,
Okay.
you know her partner, business partner,
Yeah.
RB,
That's Richard. Richard
works
Baker.
as he's in law enforcement, and
Okay.
he told me that 16, and this was all on the news, that a 16-year-old, her she was picked up at a gas station. They were using an 18-year-old woman to lure the
Lure,
girls,
yeah.
and they bought her something very expensive. And they knew she couldn't pay it back, and so they had her for 2 weeks. And her mother found her by using her cell phone.
Wow.
But he worked for the Big Three. One of the there's somebody I know worked with them. I think I don't know one of them. But he told the judge he wanted a bond, and she said, "Why?" He said, "I have a 16-year-old daughter." Judge said, "That's the same baby, same age as that child that you trafficked." 16 years old. He's making money. I mean, it's about money. It's not personal. Some
money,
people
right.
would do anything for money, and that's what it's about.
But it's just like, wow, your mindset to these young girls. And it's a lot of places here, like homes right next door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That have these young ladies in the basement.
48227 is one of the highest zip codes.
Man, that's where I live.
Yep, 48227 is one of the
Really?
highest zip
48227.
codes for trafficking, prostitution. Yeah.
Are you serious?
That's where I live.
Yeah, one of the highest.
4227.
28 is up there as well, but a lot of prostitutes right in the residential, right in the home, and it's easy. People, you can come in and out, and it's
the freeway
hard.
is right there,
yeah,
too.
Yeah, exactly. So
You know what? I want to
I know this
I
is
want
just
to
mind
get in-
blowing to me.
I want to get into the PSA that we did. And again, man, I had the pleasure of working with you guys. It was such informational. It was kind of eerie for me because I have all girls. So as an actor, you get into your acting, but deep down inside, it felt weird to me. You know what I'm saying? But I had to bring it across, and I hope I did your PSA justice.
Oh, baby, you turn that switch on.
Man,
I
but
mean-
talk about your PSA and then the time that we had and how what did we do that day? That was informational.
you were amazing, and I've been wanting to work with you. and when I found out that you were on a project, I was elated.
I appreciate it.
You embodied that character, and the premise behind that is the same amount of time that it takes to order a pizza is the same amount of time it takes to order a grill online. And so
Really?
there's a split screen. I hate to almost talk about this
Right,
because
right.
I can't wait to put it out there. But so you'll see that that's played out in that.
Okay.
And we had another PSA, but this one is it'll be through the roof. And you embody that, and I know it's going to get a lot of attention. I believe that, and I'm praying for impact. But you play that role so well. I just hate to kind of go deep into
Right.
that.
I got
Until
you.
we so
You ought to give it away.
bring me
Right.
back on in August when we,
Okay.
because it's for a group, and then once they have their conference, Wayne County Mental Health, that'll be a crowd of about 500 or 600 that'll see that.
Wow.
And then after that, then we'll be able to put that on and share it on our social media. But that's what I'll say about that. But yeah, I know I got choked up.
Wow.
I got choked up seeing that because the way you treated her
Yeah.
and the way her body went limp,
Yeah.
it's almost like she gave up and she just was hopeless.
Yes.
And she personified that, what a victim would go through. And I choked up. I was very choked up afterwards. Prayed a lot over that. My pastor, he's partnering with us, 180 Church, Pastor Lorenzo Sewell and Molly Sewell, and he asked me, how did it go? And I said, you're going to be blown away by what you see.
Wow.
I said, the actor, both the actor and the actress, everybody involved, but you two will, I pray that this will go worldwide, and not for fame or nothing like that, but strictly
Just
so that
information
people
and
can
people-
see what really, we put a face on what really goes on, and that's what you're going to do. You're going to put a face on human trafficking. So we pray to get into some, and we'll talk about it at a later date, but we pray to get this into some other spaces, because still there's a lot of organizations, and those are the clients. Let me just say that. People who have money, those are the clients that are able to buy girls. But we hope we can get this maybe into some sporting, professional spaces to get that word out. So, yeah.
Now, I was going to ask, what are some avenues if you want to get involved, or do they have centers or places where if you want to help,
yes.
cut down on this sex
Yes.
trafficking, how you can get involved?
One of the best ways is through education.
Okay.
And we have on Saturday, August the 28th, at my church, I'm not hosting it, but a lady from the Human Trafficking Education Seminars, she's going to do a Train the Trainer event. And it's $99. You can do that in person or online. Saturday, August the 28th. It is an 8-hour event. And you will be able to come in and be trained. And once you go through the training, you will be certified by the state of Michigan, which means you can go and train other people on your job through other spaces, through people you know. You can train and certify people about human trafficking. There's a lot of jobs that need training, but just education. And the education that you're going to get is mind-blowing. It's way more than what I would give in a presentation. So you even get a chance to see how it impacts someone's brain. And so the victim's brain. So there's a lot of information you'll get. And you'll get quite a bit of information on the training. Also, Michigan Abolitionist Project, MAP, and they are incredible. They do a conference every year, several, I believe, but they also would love for people to partner with them in training. They'll be able to train you and give you a lot of information to equip you with pamphlets and things like that. So MAP, Michigan Abolitionist Project. But that other call that I want you to get on that Zoom, I'll give that to you off air.
Okay. Now, what other things we can do to educate our daughters, our nieces, our nephews, our cousins about sex trafficking right here in, well, not just in Michigan, but in Michigan. But, you know, talking to them and educating the young people, because they're blind to it. A lot of kids walk around with their headsets on, not paying attention, or in their phones.
Yes.
And they don't know none of this. They don't even know what to do if they were approached with it.
When you go through the training, you will be well armed to be able to sit down with the training and information. And I'm not saying this to promote the play at Dream Deferred, but we're going to air it again in person and online. At Dream Deferred, and that we've done it 3 times. Lots of impact there. Yeah. So there's a lot of big opportunities for if they can watch this play and see how easy it was for the girl to get lured in. And so we're not just selling entertainment. Right. But we're ministering about something that's, you know, really important, and that impact is there as well. And so we'll do the play, and I'll keep you all posted on when we do the play again. But the information that you get, map, brochures, and different things like that. The Slave Next Door by Teresa Flores. That's a great book. She lived in, I believe, Rochester Hills, I believe, Oakland County. Based on a true story, the Slave Next Door by Teresa Flores, Flores. That is a very good book. How she was trafficked within, again, a family. It's a familial thing. Wow. So not only is it just people, strangers, but your family members can, you know, so different things like that. That's a good book.
Okay.
So
Thank
there's
you.
so many, and then if you go to Polaris, Polaris. And then the human trafficking website. So there's a lot of different websites. Polaris deals with data, and that's what they do. They collect data.
Okay.
So they collect data on arrest or victims and different things like that, victims that they know of who would come forth. So, but you can find some very good statistical information on that, Polaris, how people get in. Through what kind of relationships? Through a job? Yeah. Was it someone that they were engaged to, and different things like that? So,
okay.
When you have, because I come from stage, that's where my acting career was born. This is really my 3rd movie that I just finished, but I have a love for stage. So I don't know if you have like any auditions that's coming up for what's the name of the Dreams?
I Dream Deferred.
I Dream Deferred. If you have an audition or anything like that, man, please let me know, because I would love to be involved and have my daughters, see this, because they need to know, because we don't talk about that in our household. Yeah. We don't talk about sex trafficking or anything like that. So, which we need to, but at least they can see this, because sometimes you can talk. And it's not other, but people look. Well, your kids will grasp it if they, see the entertainment or see it on stage, see it in a movie. You know what I mean? So I would love to, let me know if you do have that. If you have the audition, I would love to come and audition.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, that's good to know.
Now, I want to know. I know you mentioned Kick. Is there other social media sites that they target that kids are on?
I don't like Snapchat, and I know that one is a little seedy as well, Snapchat.
Okay.
But Kick is definitely a breeding ground. There's so many more. There are even gaming sites where men...
Gaming sites?
Yeah, because men can meet, a lot of boys and different things on there. And so you just, as parents, we just have to be very vigilant about social media and our kids and what's going on, and have those conversations. And someone not too long ago, it was a teenager, sent my daughter an inappropriate picture of his private area to my daughter, and she says, "Mom, something bad happened." I didn't want them on social media. I think 12 is just too young.
Yeah,
it just is. But they beg you for this stuff, and we say, well, you can have it as long as we have the password, and we have to be able to follow you. Yeah. But they don't understand why we want the password. We have to have it because we need to be able to go in and look at what's going on.
That's right.
That's right.
And when I talk to parents, I tell parents, go in and look at kids' Google searches. Go and see what's going on. Are kids Googling how to cut themselves?
Yes.
Are they Googling how to take their
crazy.
Lives? Are they Googling about drugs? The next PSA I'm working on is about fentanyl. That's my next play.
I got the stories.
That's my next play is fentanyl. So
they had that thing going around on YouTube. They had to watch out for little kids because they had this thing that would be popping up in the on YouTube, and it'd be a person with a mask on, like a doll face or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they'd show themselves cutting themselves, and
Really?
making nooses.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, and stuff
The
like
public
that.
school had to really
That's crazy.
deal with that with kids.
Yeah.
So
They probably gonna be cracking down on Twitch soon too, because there's a lot of gaming on Twitch now.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
See, I'm blind to all these different sides. Well, I don't have any young children, but I have my granddaughter, and this is the age to be teaching her. Like, she's 6, and you want to teach them about things like this.
And when schools had to do what they had to do, they had to shut down. But you don't have to leave your home to be trafficked. There was a girl, she was in a charter school, and I was speaking to a group of parents about, I do talk about cyber safety and security as well, and 8-year-old, 3rd grade, 8 years old, the school shut down her social media, just shut it down.
Yeah.
She was flagged, and somehow she's online because kids don't normally learn like this. Anybody can come up with a website. They can come up with a website as a Disney princess and bait a kid in, and she was baited in, and they had her doing nefarious things to herself. And they wanted her to get her sibling involved, her 5-year-old sibling, and then they can have access to your apps and different things. They can control her camera or make sure she turns the camera on.
Yeah.
But they had her doing things, and she was about to get the sibling involved, but somehow the school district picked up on it in the nick of time. But a lot of healing and counseling has got to go on, because the family is just, they messed up out behind it. They are messed up.
Oh, yeah,
They
I'm
messed
sure.
You have you speak on fentanyl, and we're going to wrap up. But I want you to say this real quick.
And that time went back.
When you speak on fentanyl, recently I had 2 good friends of mine who were indulged in cocaine. So I'm just keeping what I'm, but it had fentanyl in it.
Yeah.
And they died.
Yeah.
This was just last month. Guys I grew up with.
Yeah.
And they use fentanyl to stretch it out.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? To make it more potent. And they cutting it. But fentanyl is extremely potent, and you have to, I mean, it's just crazy. And they don't know, because this is the choice of drug that they use. So they don't know that fentanyl is in this.
So the person giving the drugs, they mix it and sell it as if it's...
It could be them. It could be who they buying it from. It could be you just don't know. But the thing of it is, and it was a young lady that was with them that she OD'd, but she snapped out of it.
Really?
And she went to the hospital, you know what I'm saying, and she was able to survive. But the other 2 guys, they died. They had the funeral about a couple weeks ago.
And these are adults? Like,
these are my age.
wow.
That's what
understand
killed
what I'm
Bobby
saying?
Brown's son, too.
Yeah. Wow.
So,
Prince.
but listen, we really appreciate you for coming by and giving us, educating us.
Yes, thank you so
we're going
much.
to talk to some of our people, our audience, and we have to have a part 2, especially when the PSA comes out.
Please.
Because I really appreciate you.
Thank you.
I really
I
appreciate you for
appreciate
having me. I really appreciate you for and actually educating me and opening my eyes. Because after I left the set, I did have a conversation with my daughter.
Awesome.
You know what I mean? So, well, this is Stacey J from Stacey J Productions. We appreciate her for stopping by.
Yes.
Giving us her time and educating us. We're going to do a part 2. The PSA will be out around in
About August the 17th, 18th, and 19th.
Okay.
And then after that, we'll be free to, I will
Okay.
make sure you get a copy to utilize and everything and send out. Yep.
And whenever if you premiere this, like and wherever you premiere, I would love to just be there. And, you know what I'm saying? So I could be in the
You ain't even
audience.
gotta
so I
mention
can
that.
see, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
how we wrap up our show, we always talk about what we got coming up, and I know we mentioned it a little bit in the beginning, but we're gonna wrap up the show. You went first last. You see how she smiled because she thought I was gonna say go ahead.
I didn't even say no. I didn't even say nothing. I was gonna let you do what you do.
So-
Because I'm learning, y'all. Y'all know Q be on my head, and I'm
Yeah,
learning
absolutely.
to be, as they say, submissive.
So, as we talked about today, to this evening, so we have the PSA that will be August 17th, 18th, around mid to end August. That's a PSA on sex trafficking. I had the pleasure of playing the pimp. I'm gonna keep it like that, and you will see when it come out, man.
Incredible.
And then I just finished up. Shout out to Beezy, director Beezy. I am in his movie called Money and Power. I just wrapped up this past weekend. I had a wonderful time. The set was beautiful, huge set. The guy from I can't think of his name, but the guy from The Wood that plays Stacy. He's in the movie. Cool guy.
Oh, yeah.
Went in there, did my thing, professional, knocked it out. I can't wait to see it. I think it's going to be around October. So October is a good month for me. So I have 2 movies that I'm premiering in. One is a starring role. One is a lead. I can't talk about it right now because it's in post production. So that'll be out in October around Halloween, and then Power and Money. Thank you, Beezy. Thank you, Tristan. Tristan, my guy. Thank you, everybody that was on the set, cast, everything. The barber that hooked me up. I want to say thank you to him too. So my floors, I do hardwood floors resurfacing. That's always on and going. So if you need your wood hardwood floors resurfacing, holler at me. What else? I think that's about it.
That's it.
That's about it.
Well, you
Yeah,
know what?
that's
I want to say
Nope,
congratulations.
I tell you what else. No, I'm just not sure. Go ahead.
I want to say congratulations to you. You are doing your thing. But I have to acknowledge today you put a post up, and I was it almost brought tears to my eyes. And a lot don't make me cry.
Okay.
But that was it was from the heart and it was sincere.
Yeah.
And I seen your growth, and I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
And I'll let you have it after the show. I'm gonna be nice right now. We're gonna go back to business as usual in 5, 4.
Stop yourself out.
Oh, well, you know, I do my thing. Y'all know what I do.
You really learning?
I am. I'm
'Cause
telling y'all.
she just gave me the floor.
I gave him the floor. I think I mentioned the last couple of weeks. So
Okay,
I'm
that's
trying
what
to,
it is.
after next week, we're going to be back to business as usual. But no, I'm doing, like I said, doing my wardrobe styling, which I love to do. That is my first love. I'm doing my gardening. Thank you all to all my clients. So many people reached out to me. And with the rain, I'm behind a couple of weeks, but I'm coming, y'all. I'm coming. And I'm just thankful for everything. God has been so good. He's opened up some amazing doors, and I thank you. And I'm just appreciative. And that's it.
All right. Shout out to L Book,
Yes, our engineer.
the engineer, man.
Let me
You
put
know what I'm
the camera
saying?
on.
He always be doing this thing.
He always
man.
get us together.
You know what I'm saying?
What up?
Yeah. And so you can catch us every Thursday at 7:00 right here. It's the Dinner Table with Q and She. And you can go on the actual the Dinner Table Facebook page that we have, or www.simplypodcastic.com, and you can see it in its entirety with the split screen and the captions. That way you don't have to look on Facebook Live and just see me. You know, and see me turning the camera, but you can actually go on the site, take a look at it.
Professional.
We have a lot of people that go and look at it after our show. That
Yes.
didn't catch our show. So, again, want to thank you, Stacey J.
Yes, thank you so
We appreciate you. We
much.
appreciate the information. She, my partner, love you.
I love you too.
You know what I'm saying? You know,
Aw,
there it is.
cute.
The Dinner Table.
Peace. Y'all have a great night.
Oh, that was so informative.